can carry the basket for me. Okay, give me that.
Because
Because I'm making you a packing mule.
I'm an old school man and I can do these things. So I've got 2 hands. And I can see a girl. Even here in the morning, when you wake up with mine, they're back home.
Right?
When they wake up in the morning, they're always, hulle koala. Koala's kinders. Maar hulle kla net die hele tyd.
Hoe is dit?
Jy weet die generation.
Is
Hulle hou nie op nie. Hulle het al die kla, jy weet, ek dink ek nou wie's nou eintlik uit, is dit ek of hulle?
I feel very old.
They're all sleeping now.
Oh, really?
They surface now. Oh, no.
But why? It's Friday. Why aren't they?
Yeah,
at school?
no, it's because they work. No, not the little ones. Not the grandchildren.
The mother.
Yeah, the mother.
Okay.
Fathers and stuff, you know.
Okay.
The mothers, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, flying.
Oh, look at that!
My goodness, how's that?
And then we can.
Oh, yeah. It can help. Oopsie. Sorry.
That's right. There's yours.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Yo.
She's also here with Gqeberha.
Yeah, I wonder what she's probably a bird watcher.
No, this is an excellent place for bird watching.
Oh, she's definitely a bird watcher. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like it. No, it's one of these. This is a good spot. Wow.
The Cornish pies are quite delicious, but they only had one.
Ah, yes.
I should know with 2. That's not good. Just ask me. Do you want the one? I said, no, I told you. You can't have.
With 2, eh?
Yeah. No, I must sit here and eat this delicious pie, or I must give it to you, and then my mouth must water. I actually eat it. It's really very nice.
Oh, it's really nice. Huh?
How are you and how have you been?
Me? Mad as a hat.
I haven't seen you in ages.
No, that's your fault. Not my fault.
I've been in Guinea Fowl prison.
Oh no. And I don't envy you at all.
I'm being released.
You've been released,
Yeah, not in a good way, but
No, I've been fine.
with that
It's just been pretty hectic with it.
heat wave.
Huh? Oh!
Then the rain.
My goodness,
And then the rain. And then the high humidity. It took them all out. All the babies died.
My goodness.
In 1 week.
That's tragic, eh? But that heat was intense, eh?
Yeah. They couldn't.
I didn't cope very well with it, I must admit.
They didn't cope with it either. Poor Thomas was so disgusted because it was like 9 babies, dead babies, 9
Yeah.
of them. And I lost the only big one that survived of the 26. So of 26 and 19, 0 survived.
That's very sad.
And I must witness it.
No, that I can't deal. Like those 2 clips of yours that you know which ones I'm talking about, eh? I can't watch that.
I
Well, I did, but I mean, it's very upsetting, you know.
Lots of people say that. But I document it for a reason.
Oh,
You know.
no, you have to. Those are actually your best clips, by the way. Those are powerful, eh?
Because lots of people think that, they see 30 babies. Let me turn my SUV and just kill them, because there's so many. But if you look at the survival rate, it's going to take one illness that come and wipe them all out and they're in trouble.
I'm actually alarmed at the mortality rate, because...
But the people don't realize it.
No, I didn't realize it. I mean, obviously I know. If you look at the size of the offspring, you realize, well, like, surely...
How does this work? This is supposed to open it?
Yeah, no, You proud for me. You're proud.
I'm supposed to open it. I'm just going to take the whole thing off and just throw it like that. How about that? I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
going
that's
to
gonna
work the
work.
best.
Yeah, it'll work.
There we are.
Just,
Do you want milk? Because I bought the
don't know.
the other sachets to put in so that you can have a milky experience.
okay. Multi. What's that?
I don't do milk, no. So
Well, I don't mind either way. I'll do milk, but I don't do either way. I mean, I don't mind
so
either.
I always have that for people that want milk, because if I get people to
I
come
don't really.
they come and drink want coffee or something, then I don't have milk. But then if I have this, do you want it?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
It's for fun.
But I document it, so that I have a good idea what's going
Is that what
I wondered whether I must keep it, because a lot of people say
Very much people.
they find it too upsetting.
Very much.
They just go
You must
past
keep-
it. But then they must not go past it. How many sugar you want?
Give me 12 another.
Yeah. Then they must not just fast forward.
No, that is the
forward
most
and
powerful
past
thing
it,
that I've seen you do. No, just because it's upsetting, it's not.
It doesn't make it not a reality.
No. I mean,
reality.
you understand? I watched it. It's not.
And I must
That's not what I meant. You know?
I must deal with it in real time.
No, that's why you have to see it. That's why we have to see it. We have to see the reality of it, you know?
You only see a little bit.
Of course, yes. I know.
I don't show
I think
you.
it was beautiful. It's one of the most moving things I've seen, you know? It doesn't mean I like it. If you know, and I mean, you understand what I mean, eh?
Actually, well, this sounds very, very gruesome. But I've never experienced it. It's the first time that they're all in my yard. So I've never
That's right, yeah.
I've never experienced it where I almost see every single one die.
Yeah, that's not fun, eh?
But
Isn't there like a helplessness when it's happening? But you know that it's imminent, and you know it's unavoidable. But you still feel I mean, you feel even more helpless because you feel like you're just allowing something to happen, which
I can't do
and
anything.
you can't intervene.
I give them.
It's a hopeless kind of situation, you know. But what freaks me out is that it's like mass. It's not. It's just like
Continuously.
wow. It just continuously just obliteration, you know.
And I've tried to give medicine. I sometimes
So you've tried stuff.
nothing.
So no, it's not.
I think by the time that they show the signs, it's already too late.
Yeah,
And then I catch them, and it stresses them out.
yeah. And that makes it even worse.
But it's almost worse to go in the mornings and go and pick the dead ones up that died under the mother during the
Oh
night.
God,
Because
no.
they get
That is-
flattened. For some other reason, they get flattened.
So sad, eh? That's very sad. Wat is dit nou? Wat maak ek nou? Is het weg? Moet ek dit alles omgooi? Ek moet nooit vertraai nie, maar...
Misschien net die koffie
it
anders
smells,
flavor.
yeah, it's really nice smell. Dankie meneer Jacob. Yeah, your spoon's gonna have sugar on it. I hope you don't
No, I do. I've got usually use another one.
Nee, maar dit is wel dit affect you.
What's your name again?
I don't know. I can't. I've already forgotten.
Oh, me too.
We only just discovered it, and I've already forgotten. Must be the old age.
I know the other ones with the yellow beak is coots.
Yeah, those are, but these men, these are so.
And then the one is a Chinese swan goose, and the other one is a greyland.
A what?
No, a greyland.
I don't know that.
And I must tell you, people hate it when you show videos where you eat.
No, I do. See the worry in my eye. See the worry in my eye.
I suppose it's not the nicest thing to look at or to listen to.
What?
Huh? But it's a human thing. Not a human thing, it's anything that's alive must do it.
Correct. That's what's happening now.
Well, back to the just to the dying kids before I finish that one off. What stood out to me is how every one of them ends up with a different expression on their face when they're dead now, and a different contorted body.
Really?
Actually, this sounds like very dark and bizarre, and I don't think many people will watch it. But I actually thought if God is looking upon me gracefully, and I'm still here in a year's time to experience the next breeding season. I don't know, it seems like every breeding season is going to present itself differently. But if they are in the yard again, hopefully not. Hopefully
not.
I am doing some activist stuff, which is probably going to take some time in our country. Maybe nothing is going to come of it, but I am writing a whole spiel which I'm going to send to the environmental people, because the last cut with Dylan Staples and Gerald, whatever his surname is, they have went to the hater group and they got money together, and it was a personal cut. They cut again. The 5th of March. The 5th of March.
Since that last
the
cut.
day before, which was in January.
Yeah.
There was no need to cut.
No.
He just had to do it quickly in the middle of the breeding season to upset me. So it was absolutely a hate cut.
Yeah.
And if I did not go out, I would not have seen that there was a brood of 19 that hatched that morning.
I think you did mention that.
Yeah.
Correct. You did. You did mention that. Yeah.
That's why I was back in Guinea Fowl prison for a bit again.
That's right. But you know,
But let me just finish. So I thought next year I mustn't put the dead ones in between the other videos. I must hold all that clips. It's going to be a terrible video then. And put them all in one.
You edit them in nicely.
In one video. Because you can see on the way the bodies distort or not, and the expression on the face, how the dying process actually went. And I am a little bit bonkers in my head as far as death is concerned. As far as human death is concerned, never mind animal death. But the ones that I have with me has got like a peaceful expression on the face.
That's amazing.
And the little bodies are in a relaxed sleeping position. Some of them you can see were scared during the dying process. You can see the expression of fear in on the face and in the eyes when they did, after they passed, and the way that the legs or the wings or the whole body contorted in that final dying process is actually very interesting.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't think that's going to go well. We'll probably go down well with very dark.
No.
Very dark people.
No, that's not how you view. That's not how people necessarily view death and stuff. Because this is done as an observation and a study. It's not. It doesn't. It's not. It's how it's presented. See, it's how it's presented that offends or doesn't offend. So what you're doing is not offensive. None of the things that you've done is offensive, and it hasn't offended anybody. When people get upset, it's triggering something else, but it's not because that is offensive.
I think what it
There's a
does.
big difference. It's not the same thing.
I think what it does is bringing the reality of
Yes,
death
and it's necessary.
in our faces.
You know, it's necessary.
Because
do you
a lot of people block it out. don't like to think of the fact that
Well, they don't like to think of anything. There's a lot about reality that people don't want to confront or don't want to in their daily lives, and rather, what I discussed with you before, they live with this bubble and they just don't want to know anything that's out there. Rather live in this alternative virtual thing and don't rock my boat, you know. So that is something, and it's necessary to actually confront these things. You can't just put your head in the sand all the time. I'm talking generally, like there's a lot of things in life that's not pleasant.
a lot.
You know what I mean? So you just have to learn to accept that, you know. You can't bury it because it's,
But I think when you get to our age,
well,
and you start to realize that there is less time ahead of you than what you have lived already.
yeah, you
That
do
lies
realize
behind
that.
you.
Yeah, you do.
You start
You
to
become
think
more-
about stuff that doesn't really enter your mind when you are young.
Why do you think that is? That's my
Because
argument.
you know that your life is running out. It's like an
No, but people,
hourglass.
no, but you know what you don't understand
Is it
about
cold?
the situation. No, mine's fine. What you don't understand about the situation, there's no time running out thing, right? Because you know,
come in any time.
things.
I know that.
Yeah, you know. So what I'm saying is, what the difference is that when you're younger, you know, in context we're speaking now, you're living. You're divorcing yourself from everything around you, like all that stuff, and you're just living that moment. It's like it's almost like putting things off. Like I mentioned before, they don't like silence. The brain has to be distracted all the time because as soon as you have silence, you have to think. And they don't want to think. They just want to just immerse themselves in that
But
in that distraction. You see, so but as you get older, you start reflecting.
reflection is the
So
word.
now you reflect, and when there's reflection, it's because you've had experience. So you've experienced things, and that starts developing your perception of everything. You know, so all that time, all your experiences and all the things that you know that you've had to confront and endure and overcome, and all the highs and the lows and that. That's what makes who you are. You know, that's what
Yeah.
tempers and finds you.
Yeah.
But now, then you have triggers. Like in the present, you have triggers about the past. That's
Very
you see.
much so.
So something will happen, and you'll immediately go back.
So true.
Now, when you're young, you don't have that.
Yeah.
You're just going forward. But when you're young, the way the youngsters live now, they don't think ahead or behind.
Yeah. I don't think they think at
They
all.
don't think at all. That's the point. So if you suddenly,
Because they're
if
keeping themselves
somebody,
busy with
it's keeping yourself busy.
with
That-
stupid stuff.
But that's exactly what I'm saying.
On
They're
social
keeping
media.
themselves busy,
Yeah.
right? So they don't have to think. And as soon as somebody else out of that bubble says something or draws attention to something, that's why they freak out. Because now, it's like waking up from a dream. Hey, you woke me up. Hey, no, whoa. I don't want to hear this. You know, it's like a... Because they can't do that, you see.
I don't think even. I think
They can't
even
think about the time, maybe tomorrow I'm dead. They can't think
they
that.
don't think like that
The only reason why you think that when
because
you're older...
they think 80.
Yeah, but then, yeah, but what's the first thing they say? I'll never get old. It's the first thing they always say. You can talk to any young person.
Really?
I'll never get old.
Because they live recklessly.
Because they just can't perceive what that is. So they just say, it'll never happen to me, I'll never get old. In other words, like, I'll be dead before this and that. But they just say random stuff like that because they can't understand,
Yeah.
you know, that this is, you're also going to be there.
Yeah.
I'm never going to be like that.
Yeah.
When I grow up, I'm not going to be like that. You know? They say,
I was like that.
yeah, of course, and where you go. When you get older, you just get wiser. It's not because you think, life's, my life's nearly finished. It's that you realize that life can be finished today. Or you're appreciating.
Yeah,
We
appreciation.
are now appreciating this.
Yes.
Whereas their minds are so busy now, where's the music? Just put it on.
Yeah.
And they're
That's
already
so-
racing their heads. What are we doing tonight?
Yeah.
They're not living now,
Yeah.
this moment now.
Yeah.
They're thinking about, what are we going to do tonight? We're going to braai, or we're going to go out jolling, or we're going to go doping.
Yes.
And they're sitting here.
Yeah.
And then when they're there, they say, where are we going next?
Yes.
You know, so they it's like such a plastic. And then as you get older, you get over all that, you know.
Yeah.
And they can't have solitude or quiet or silence. It's just got to be all the time.
Yeah.
Go, because then I don't have to think.
Yeah.
That's all about I don't have to think.
Do you think that thinking is always such a good thing?
Overthinking is not. Overthinking is a different.
I think too much.
No. Overthinking is another story. No. So that's the only difference. The difference is we're not getting sort of.
Have one.
We're not getting
Have one.
Well, that one is. Cheers. Cheers.
Be careful.
Oh no! I didn't know my touch was that one. That was quick. No, so I don't think
That's the last four.
you just value things more when you get older.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of reflection, you know, and stuff like that, which is not bad. And getting nostalgic, and that's not bad.
No, but I am a
You
little
know,
bit
there are times where I get like this.
preoccupied with death as it is. Like my mind goes there far too often.
Well, you better deal with it.
Well, I am.
Well, death is imminent. There's not something to worry
I
about.
know.
That was my living, you pal.
Hmm?
You still got a lot of living to do, you. Believe me.
As if you're so old.
No, I'm only 69.
Exactly.
Oh, well, I've got lots of living to do. But I'm saying when I look at you and know you, you've got lots of living to do. There's no death in you. There's nothing dying here.
Yeah, but I know how quickly it can come now.
Well, that can happen to anybody. I mean, I've experienced it now firsthand in the last.
You want to wet what? Oh, this is go back to the
Actually,
car.
dit is so.
Moet je van al?
Nee, wat man? Nee. No, I'm not preoccupied with it. I've seen a lot of death. Without having to go into all that now. But I mean, so the reality of death was, hit home very, very early age. So anyway, my point here is, if you're thinking about it a lot, it's not. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I think if you think about it a lot, you think about your spiritual destination as
that's
well.
very important. That's very important to think.
I think
you're
people
absolutely,
that don't reflect on death.
Well, don't want to confront that.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, yeah. We'll think about that tomorrow.
Yeah.
The God
Because
thing
you
and all
don't
that.
you don't have to make the changes in your life.
Yeah, now you're
But you
getting to
don't-
it. Now you're getting it. When I'm
Yeah.
old, then I'll go and I'll do that.
I don't want to stop drinking
No,
quite as yet.
Yeah, I'll get there, right, and then I'll get into all that stuff.
Yeah.
But right now, just put it on hold, everything on hold.
But I
No,
find
you did right. That's exactly how it works.
what I find very shocking as well is I have now been alone for, I would say, from about 2002. I've had relationships but completely, I would say, alone from about after my heart attack.
When did you have a heart attack?
A month after my 50th birthday. 27th of April is actually, I always say, is my new birthday.
Yeah, you see, probably now.
Because
I'm
that's
glad
when-
you bring this up now because I was waiting to hear what this preoccupation is. You see, all that your preoccupation with death is all about is a reality check. That, oh, this is how it can happen. This is what can happen. It could be over tomorrow. I really have to take stock. So what you're doing is you're taking stock because you've realized it's not just happening to other people.
Exactly, that's what the doctor said to me, because I actually started to suffer from post-traumatic stress syndrome.
Well,
Because
Okay.
because every little thing that happened, I thought I was getting another heart
Yeah,
attack.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
my heart attack presented it completely different.
So how did they deal with it?
I actually got the first heart attack in the early hours on Monday morning. It was over Easter weekend, so it's coming up now. I woke up at about 2 o'clock in the morning of intense nausea. And I blacked out. I don't know for how long I was gone. When I came to, my bowels wanted to clean out.
Yeah.
So I got myself to hospital. They said I had a heart attack. So they then admitted me to the cardiac intensive care unit. And the next morning, you know, they wake you up at 4 o'clock to do everything. When they change, they don't. The night staff want everything done before they
they
change
duck.
shift for the.
Yeah.
And so she was checking my vitals because you are connected to everything.
Yeah.
And she was busy checking the ECG, and I said to her, I'm not feeling too well. She said to me, how are you feeling? I said to her, I just feel funny. I can't really put it into words. It feels like I felt last night, you know. She said she's just going to go and fetch some oxygen, because normally if they give the people oxygen, they start to feel a little bit better. And while she was gone to go and fetch the oxygen, I crashed. I almost died. So then all the alarms of all the machines go off around your bed.
Yeah.
And everybody descends onto your bed. And the curtains get drawn so that the other people can't see that maybe if you don't make it, somebody is actually dying. And then they start to fight for your life. And I had no blood pressure. There was no blood pressure left. My blood pressure was gone. So he made like a incision here and some contraption that he put in there that shocks you when the blood pressure is going completely gone. And I don't know why they pump you full of fluids, but your IV bags become this size and it runs out within seconds. So I went through a lot of those bags. They fought about 45 minutes to an hour to stabilize me. And he still said when he made this, because they always joke in the emergency room when the people come in that tried to commit suicide, and they said, you know, you don't cut like that.
No.
You cut like that, because so he still said to the nurses they must bring a lot of towels because I'm going to bleed a lot when you made that incision. And then he said to them they must come and have a look, because it's not something that the procedure that you often see performed on people. But it was a very surreal experience. I didn't feel panicky. It was like everything knows in your body that they're either going to be successful or this is your time. You're going to be gone. You know, you have that realization. But not for 1 second did I experience chest pain, a crushing feeling on my chest, arm pain, no pain whatsoever. It was just extreme nausea and lightheadedness, because obviously the blood wasn't getting to my to my brain.
Yeah.
And so then, every time, and unfortunately with vertigo and anxiety attacks, it presents itself almost exactly like a heart attack. And because nausea was and vomiting was my main symptom, it's something that happens quite regularly, and every time that happens, I think
Okay, I understand.
and then I rush to I've stopped doing that now. I now rush up to my hairdresser, but then I rush myself to outpatients, the emergency room. In the end, you start to feel stupid, and they get to know you personally. But the doctor then explained to me that my bubble, like you said, of you live to 80 or whatever, has now been burst.
Yeah.
I am now aware of the fact that it can happen now.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's just that when you get older, you become, you confront everything, and you look at everything, and you value everything, because the realization that you, from the day you're born, you're on borrowed time.
You don't realize that
But
when you're young.
No, but that's the difference. The difference is when you get old, that's the only difference. I've outlived most of my friends already.
Oh, that's
It's scary.
I know.
I'm not going to go into details about what I'm talking about now, but I mean, I can. So it's not about the age thing. It's about you can confront these things. Like, that's why I like what you're doing in those videos, because you are looking at reality and you're addressing it, and you that's it. That's how it is. You have to look at that, not all the pretty pictures on National Geographic, you know, because that's not reality. That's Hollywood.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a matter of it's okay. It's okay. You're at peace with it. This is how it works.
It is how it works.
Yeah.
This is how life on
That's the
planet
cycle.
Earth works.
Everything, the whole universe works like that.
Even plants.
Everything. It's-
Everything's got an expiration date.
Yeah, and so what? And when you get to the so what, then you start living. As soon as you get to this point, you should now be able to really embrace life and love life. Love yourself.
I've got a lot of appreciation. My stock taking has never stopped since that incident happened. I can truly say I live a absolute thankful,
Yes, you do.
grateful life.
You do. I know you do. Because I know it doesn't take me forever to figure out somebody. And just the time that I've had with you, which has been an amazing privilege.
Hi, Norman.
And just you know, like when you get older, you get wise, you know, and you can just suss a person. Okay. Yeah? Okay. But you definitely appreciate the littlest things. You have so much love in your heart, so much compassion, and you embrace life beautifully. And you know, people that are not at peace can't live in solitude, can't live alone, none of that. Can't do it.
But there's another reason.
But,
There's a good-
you know what I'm trying to say. So what I'm saying to you is that you've created a beautiful world for yourself, and it's not a bubble.
And I'm happy. I'm happy there.
Of course you are.
And
Because you'd be happy anyway.
exactly.
Because you have peace. And that's
That's
what's
it.
happened from this experience.
Yes.
You're at peace now.
Yes.
This is how it goes.
Yes.
Now it must just do what it must do.
Exactly.
If I'm here next year, that's cool.
Exactly.
I'm not.
Exactly.
You're at peace.
I am at peace.
So that's in a long way now. I've gone right around, but that's actually what I'm trying to say. When you get older, you just have peace with everything. You don't let everything freak you out.
And I have a lot of regrets that
Well, then you're honest.
I didn't know and live my life like from 10 years ago when I was younger, because I would have shielded myself from a lot of mistakes.
Yes.
A lot of
So would I.
heartache.
Me too. And all of us, if we're honest with ourselves, people can't say, I got no regrets. You know, I lived it my way. That's bollocks. That means you still haven't woken up. You still haven't woken up. Because if you don't have those regrets, you can put in a big box, eh? Because regrets means a lot of things. It means I made mistakes and I've learned from them as well. You understand? But people, the one thing we've learned from history is that we've learned nothing from history. People just carry on making the same mistakes. You know, like when we were younger, we'd say, like if we get disciplined for something, no, but I've got to experience it myself, you know. It's the only way I learn.
That's also true.
Yeah. I've got to experience it myself. So when people tell you, don't do this, no, but you know, I've got to do it myself and learn, you know, and that's a lie. You see? In other words, they're just going to keep. You know, there's no such thing as prevention. It's always cure everything, fix everything, not prevent anything. And never learn from your mistakes. Human beings never learn from their mistakes.
Well, I think I have. And
No, the difference now is now. So that's what getting old is all about.
I might not tell you what
Am I right?
Yeah.
Of course I'm right. If I had that conversation with you when you were 30, you'd walk away.
I don't think probably would.
Oh, you would have.
Come on, do the right way.
You have learned from your mistakes.
Yeah.
That's why you have regrets. You say, well, I wish I could go back and I wouldn't have done that. Isn't that so?
Oh, I'm telling you, I would not have done a lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
well, there you go.
A lot
So tell me,
of stuff.
one human being is going to... That's also a form of confession, you know? Where you load off all the shouldn't have done stuff.
Oh, I really shouldn't have. But now, this is now one of the other things that I need to say. You do take a lot of spiritual stock.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
And
You have to.
I've got a very close relationship with God,
Me too.
with my Creator. Oh, look at this fish.
I think they're going to do something more
No,
creative than just plain fishing. It could be...
I would have thought that they wouldn't allow fishing here because
I
they
don't think
can.
fishing is allowed here, but it
Because
depends.
they can. If everybody comes and fish here, there will
Yeah.
be nothing left for the
Yeah,
birds.
but I don't. We'll have to just wait and see what they do. I don't know if they. It doesn't say a lot of fish, but I wouldn't imagine that you would be allowed to.
or any other strictly prohibited. The body corporate, not responsible for damage or loss of property or personal injury or death. Is it a? They look like they should be in school. Maybe they get homeschooled.
Those are good. No, well, the schools are closing tomorrow. Yeah.
No, today it's. Oh no, it's not Friday today. It's Thursday.
You see, you are getting old.
No, I lose track of time
Yeah, well, so do I.
because.
The only reason why I know it's Friday tomorrow is because I'm sitting with grandchildren and I'm not going to go to school.
Oh, so
tomorrow.
that's it. So that's why you
That's the
can
only
actually
reason.
be here.
Yeah.
I was wondering. Yeah.
No, I took them this morning, obviously. But, and tomorrow I'm not taking them. But I'm seriously thinking of getting out there. I can't.
Oh, shame.
I can't.
That's a good indication of how old we are
I just
getting.
need.
I remember when I looked after Renel's, my middle sister's,
Because I was 2 years now I've been with them.
and I was, how old was I? In my 40s, late 30s. It is exhausting.
Yeah.
Because they are busy and you must watch them all the
You can't
time.
believe what I'm dealing with there. I mean,
And then
the
you must
young
stimulate
adults,
them.
Young adults and the grandchildren. You must remember, young adults are worse than the grandchildren. Much worse.
Really?
And there's no sleep, there's no silence, it's just madness day and night. And they sleep now. And they're probably surfacing around about now, you know?
Yeah,
And tonight when I want to go and settle, then they're wide awake.
yeah,
And then it's doing whatever they're going to do, you know?
yeah.
It's like a hectic social life, just always on the go.
Really?
Always, it just never ends. And I'm so exhausted, I tell you. And on holidays come, it's much worse because I can't.
Yes, they don't go to school for a while.
Oh God, they're going to
They
be
are
home
there
all
all the
day and
time.
night, and they're going to be bored, and it's
That's the thing, you must entertain them all the time. And if you watch somebody else's children, then it's worse, because
Worse.
I did not want to let those little ones out of my
yeah,
eyesight,
Yeah.
because
yeah.
it was my responsibility. If something happened
it's
to
a hell
them,
of a
my
thing, man.
sister would never ever have forgiven.
I-
Never ever.
Pretty much most of the time, I'm alone with those kids. You know, all day, all night, all day, all night. Basically, I would do all the bathing and the feeding and the putting to bed and the homework and the getting ups and the taking to schools and all that stuff. Endless.
So you're going through school again.
Yeah,
I know that
I'm going
too.
through parenthood again.
I know that too.
No, I just can't.
And you
I've
must,
had enough now. I
and
just
you
wanna-
must stimulate them, because
No, of course, yeah.
there's little
They
brains,
don't stop. They just like
they're
hungry.
sponges.
They're sponges. They're like that the whole
Yeah.
time.
So you must also do sort of educational games and stuff with them,
Oh.
so you are there all the time. I always say that people don't realize how taxing and tiring it is to be a teacher.
It's very tiring. Teaching is
Now
draining. And it's,
other subjects, they can say, okay, this is your homework for tomorrow or next week or whatever, and then the teachers will normally put them to do their homework, and the teachers will mark something or whatever at their desk. If you're a music teacher, that is not possible,
no,
because you must sit there next to the person
correct.
at the piano or on the flute.
Correct.
You're either accompanying them or you busy demonstrating or singing
Correct.
the melody line or
Correct.
explaining phrasing or where to breathe or
Yeah.
where to crescendo.
Yeah, it's,
You singing and talking and whatever all the flipping time.
yeah,
Do that for 8 hours.
it's killer.
That little guy that he was an excellent game drive, what we would say, ranger,
Mm.
on my birthday video.
Yeah.
Amanda across the road said her son took her there when they must have just opened, because Yossi is 2 years old.
Yes.
And she said they had a girl and nothing much went on that game.
Right.
He was very knowledgeable, and you can see that he's got a people's personality, and he liked showing off his knowledge and telling you about, very enthusiastic. It was very, 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 very pleasant, and at no point in time did he ever make you feel rushed or whatever. But he talked so much, and the conversation came up. I said to him, "Gee, don't you feel this is an exhausting job?" That is an extremely. But it is, to make small talk. Never mind, he wasn't
But
not
have you
making
heard all
small
these
talk.
guys and that? They get
That's
into
the word I was looking
yeah,
for.
they get into
Help me.
they get into this groove and they're just rattling, and you know he said this yesterday, the day before, probably 3 times today already, and he's just like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, oh, it's such a laugh. I don't know why all the birds are there. I was hoping that they might chase them away. Oh, there's the grandfather. Oh, my mother, grandfather with his grandchildren.
Don't remind me.
He's walking very
Yeah, not
Krom.
not so good.
What's the word? What do you call it when you get that
Hunchback.
humble back?
Hunchback.
Hunchback.
Yeah, he looks very krom.
Sounds
better.
What's the English word for
I don't
krom?
know.
I know.
Hunch.
Oh, where does it? Hunch. No.
Hunch.
yeah,
I don't know.
Where did I hear
No,
it?
because
Where's the first
got the
one?
most-
In the water. Oh. Okay, now they're going that way.
Oh,
I
this
suppose
guy-
that's one of the privileges to stay here. No?
Yeah.
We're not seeing much here. They're not hanging out. And I once again
not for
forgot
now.
to bring the food.
What food? Oh,
Yeah.
That's okay. It would have been a waste of time. Unless
think-
you'd have got.
I think they would have come.
They might have. They
Yeah.
might still. I think it's just the weather, and they're curious now. They're interested in those rods.
You think so?
Yeah,
I thought
definitely.
they would have gone away from it.
No, they do the opposite. Because they know they're fishing,
Yeah,
what they're doing.
that was a good throw.
No, this is fly fishing, so it's not, you know.
What do you think would they? What
They
would
won't
they?
catch. They won't catch anything.
Really?
No, they're just fly fishing, practicing and messing around.
What do you catch then when you do fly fishing?
Well, I don't know what they're going to catch here.
There must be fish in
Yeah, no,
here,
he is.
Norman.
I mean, you look at the way he's doing it. That's actually,
Hmm?
that's fun. What they're doing, that's very, that's like a sport, you know. It's not,
Yeah.
you can't wipe out the,
But what would you? What do you catch when you fly fish?
I don't know, freshwater fish, I don't know.
I
What
wonder
they
what
are.
fish
Trout,
are in
I-
here.
Probably just tilapia. And I can't see how they're going to, tilapia
Really?
will go for this. They're kind of a cichlid thing, tilapia.
I must tell you.
I don't know what they keep in here.
Do you think that they put fish in here?
Well, you must, yeah. Remember last time we saw the birds.
Yeah, but I said, do you think they physically put fish?
Yes, they
in?
will push it. No,
okay.
no, absolutely.
Okay.
They bring fish and they introduce it
Okay.
here. But I know that the tilapia thing's quite popular. Only downside of those things is they cichlids, what they call cichlids. And they pretty, they're carnivores, you know.
Oh, really?
They'll wipe out other fish, you know.
Mm.
I don't know what they're doing here, what they've put in here.
Do you think
I don't know
there
much
will
about
be,
freshwater.
What do you call that fish that makes like a grunting sound? Catfish. Is it
Ah,
catfish?
you mean your bottom feeders and stuff? They'll probably have something in here. Now there's a whole range of those things that you can get that will live here. So you'll probably get that.
Yeah.
But but I don't know what they put in here. But I think tilapia will probably be the one, you know.
But after our last visit here, and when I edited the video, I thought, it would be so nice if you can, get a bird, a duck pair or whatever, and introduce it here.
Yeah.
So I went and I looked at where you can buy things, and I was thinking swans.
I remember you did mention that
Because
to me,
in-
swans.
Because Settlers Park used to have swans,
Yeah, okay.
but they all gone for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Norman,
Can you imagine?
do you know how much these things cost? For a normal.
What are we looking at?
Like for a swan, a white swan, anything from 6,000 rand up.
Yeah.
Then it's not even a black swan.
Yeah,
which is
but
more
swans are.
These, the two that's here, that Chinese swan goose and the grey lag, they're here from 1,500 rand, 2,000 rand. Between 1,500,
Kidding me?
yeah. These are the duck pairs. I don't have that kind of money. If I had the kind of money, I probably would. No wonder there's only one little pair of those little black things.
Yeah.
I actually googled them. I did put the name and I forgot what they were. Because you get some beautiful exotic ducks.
Whoa.
Some beautiful exotic
Beautiful.
ducks. But you pay for them. You pay for them. And then,
A lot of money, eh?
yeah. And then, then you
Then
run,
you're letting them.
you run the risk of them not making
They're
it.
not going to make it, you know.
Then it was like throwing that money in the water. You could have.
Yeah, it's risky if you just, that's why when they introduce things,
Yeah.
they introduce a lot. You can't just throw a
Yeah.
random goose in here.
Yeah.
Or,
I think they also look at. That's why I was wondering maybe that's why there's only one of each of those species. One Chinese swan goose and the other one. And maybe they don't want them to pair really,
No,
to take over.
no.
And I suppose they also look that there's no
gotta be a balance.
dominant species
Or
here.
you, like those mallards say. A mallard
say
gets
so.
a mallard can cause trouble. Eh?
You say so.
He's not a nice guy.
So I think you must look at a lot of things.
Yeah, I think this particular spot here is very well thought out from what we saw. Remember, I mean they've got like a whole little ecosystem going here. How do you work out what do you?
I don't want to have, and I'm normally not very
Is that thing running there now?
yeah, I don't want to have the bin in, for instance.
No.
So fortunately I realized that.
Yeah.
And then if I put it there, then I would get too much of the grass in, not really much of the water.
Correct. Yeah.
So I'm not always very conscientious about what is in my shot. I must be relaxed and really think about it. Otherwise I sometimes just,
Because
sometimes
you're just focusing on that thing and you're not looking at the...
Sometimes my camera work is bad. I know that. But nature doesn't ask you for when something interesting happens.
I think you're doing a really good job.
So if the hawks are there, I grab and I run, because they're only there for that amount of time. So then I don't have time to take a tripod, and I know that my hands are sometimes unsteady, depending on how tired I am, how tired my muscles are. Sometimes if it's been some time before I had something to eat, I get the shakes, which is very worrying for me.
No, don't you start that now.
I do.
We just had this conversation.
I don't want to be somebody that's like that, because
But you're not going to.
I don't know how they experience that, whether
But
they're
you're not
aware
going
of the
to.
fact that.
That's not you.
But my hands do shake. Now I do know that some of your, I used to call it mood altering medications from years ago, they still do it. Because Jeannie, that's on very strong medication, also have, she calls it something tremors. I don't know what, it's got a name. But one of the big side effects of a lot of the antidepressants, and then sometimes they give you antipsychotic drugs and mood stabilizers that they would give to people that's got schizophrenia.
Yeah, when my mom was on things now, taken off everything, she just gets this one little pill every day for her moods.
They put you on
She's
such
like
a
94
cocktail.
though. Yeah. I got off all that stuff.
And then you get, you have one side effect, and then they give you something to counteract that side effect.
Correct.
But they don't take the pill that gives you the side effect away. So in the end, it's like a whole bag full of tablets that you must take that works against one another and make you even more loopy.
My family took my mom off all those meds, everything, and she's now fine.
But no, a lot of the side effects of a main side effect of a lot of those medications is Parkinson's, like that you get the shakes, that you can't keep steady. And I think it never really goes away. It subsides, the intensity of the shake subsides, but I think the shake stays. Well, I know that my
nervous system thing.
My nervous system has been damaged.
Yeah, but I have never picked up anything.
Yes. So I can't.
I haven't. I mean, dead honest with you, I've never. I don't know what you're talking about.
And it's not always the same. I can't sometimes keep my hands steady, and it's getting very noticeable for me because I do camera work.
How do you mean steady? It's just like a.
Yeah, it will do that. And no matter how much I want to...
But that's not necessarily your nervous system.
What then?
It's really... Your spiertjies raak nou pap.
Nee!
Ek kan nie so lekker.
No, that's exactly the same. Then that's what happens. That's what you get. The old woman that goes...
Yeah, you're just older now. You need to do some exercise.
I don't want it. No, I just said to you when we got out of the car, I do not want... I'm thinking about it. But I honestly, I think if you have intensely exercised for a huge part of your life.
No, I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I'm so done with it.
Me too.
I'm
really,
done.
Me too.
This is my life, that, to a point of ridiculous.
But it's ever consuming.
Yeah,
it's all that you do is exercise.
Correct.
No, so it's actually such a liberation.
Yeah, I think at 70 now I can say I'm not going for a run tomorrow.
I
think I've had enough now.
I hate what is happening to my body. I really, really, really hate it. And sometimes if I look at these YouTube videos of people that start to exercise when they're older, but then I think they haven't had it when they overdose when they were younger.
That's a little different.
But then I think, Sonet, don't you think you must now? Just to pull the muscles just a little bit. And I honestly... I just don't see myself putting on my running shoes or picking up that first weight to start to do a bicycle.
Mainly when you get older, you lose muscle mass, so you have to have a lot of, protein and all that stuff. And
I don't want to do that either.
No, I don't want to do it.
And that's what a lot of these people that's so wonderfully built don't tell the people. That diet is about 90% of what that people look like. And you must consume huge amounts of food and certain foods and certain foods you can't eat at all, and they eat almost all the time. Plus you must take the supplements, and I really just
morning, noon and night. That's all
I don't want to eat a dozen eggs in the morning. I just don't. With my heart condition, can you just imagine what that's going to do? I will be dead before I say 1, 2, 3.
Oh, no.
I just don't see myself.
But I wouldn't worry too much about it.
It's not nice to see your body falling apart in front of your eyes.
What is it about a woman that they're so worried about that? Well, you don't appreciate.
I do appreciate everything.
No, you don't appreciate that how getting grace.
Getting old gracefully.
Gracefully, how beautiful that is,
Ooh,
you can't tell you can't.
It's amazing how that Egyptian goose with her goslings is following these big ones. She's behind. Yeah, she's behind them all the time.
Yeah. Amazing, eh?
Yeah.
I've never seen that before.
Me neither. A person would think they would be mindful.
It's probably normal, but I've never seen it. I don't know that much about these things, but this is really, for me, fascinating.
Yes.
They are so lovely.
They're gorgeous.
Look at that, man.
Yeah, I think this one with the black face is the Chinese swan.
Is this the one now?
Yeah, then the black one is the greyland.
Yeah, he's been running the show.
The one, the greyland.
Yeah, this one,
yeah.
Fascinating.
I love that black.
Oh, beautiful.
And it's amazing that they are together all the time because they're not with the same species.
That's what I'm talking about. The fact that he's just latched on.
Yes.
That for me is something that I don't know how it works. But obviously this is quite normal.
They look very similar, but they're actually not.
No, they're not.
You can see in the face the way that the beak is.
Yeah, no, look at the.
And there's the Egyptian geese. That's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not getting this.
You have to move it.
Yeah.
Because they're going to move over. But they're not going to move over a lot, eh? They won't move over a lot. Yeah, yes.
Maybe.
It looks fine to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. They can just stay
I
there.
don't think anybody ever used that. And it's so nice for them to have.
Oh, that doesn't get used.
You can see because
that doesn't get used.
They don't keep it clean. It's just.
Oh, so nobody does it.
Yeah. But maybe if they keep it a little bit cleaner.
Yeah, people will attract them.
Yeah, especially now that it's holidays.
Yeah.
That's
just family.
Hey, isn't it just beautiful? They've not just planted the lights in the water.
Yeah, they're getting to that stage now.
Yeah.
The energy is already gone down.
That's a lazy way of fishing, I think.
All done that,
Yeah. Now you wait for something to take the line.
Yeah. And then usually it's It's a false alarm. It goes wing.
Is there a bell on or something?
Yeah,
I think
but
there
you can
is.
actually, but you can actually see.
Oh,
You
okay.
can see the line. It makes a sound. And it's
Yeah,
pause.
but fly fishing, I think, is
Fly fishing is something else.
is to throw the line.
Fly fishing is an art. It's an
Absolutely.
absolute freaking art. I mean, that is. I have one friend in the music industry. Tony is an engineer. That's a very avid fly fisherman. All the tours and that he takes his stuff with. I just don't know how they do it. I sat and watched him. It's insane. Insane.
Yeah. Because you don't have a what is a katrol?
Yeah. There's a reel.
You don't have.
It's a whole different way
It's
of-
all hand hand control.
Yeah, and a slacking line.
Yeah.
It's so nice to watch.
Yeah.
Nice to watch.
I think you're really right when you say it's an art.
Yeah, it's an art. And you know that kind of fishing, it's a sport. So it's not like you're wiping out
Yeah.
species and stuff.
But they also are mindful at which dams they do the competitions.
Of course, yes. Of course, yes.
They do. But then you must have a little bit more time. I haven't been to Lake Farm in a hell of a long time. And there was a point in time. There was a point in time where Lake Farm was completely and totally dry.
Really?
Yeah, there was nothing.
Wow.
And then when we got that loads of rain, I think it was last year or the year before, the water actually pushed right over the road.
That's last year.
That's also, I've never taken the people there. I don't know if you can still go in there.
Well, we can always find out. We'll just go and see.
Yeah, that
Lake
would be a nice sit also. I don't think there's benches, so we will have to take two chairs.
Yeah, we take, those things you take to the cricket.
Oh, do you have? Oh, I don't have. So that will
Those
that will be-
collapsible ones.
That will be your,
That will be my thing.
yeah, that will be your contribution towards that.
Yeah, I've
situation.
got those.
Okay.
Nice ones.
Yeah.
Nice, comfortable ones
Yeah.
for old people.
Because I don't think they have that. I actually wonder if it's still open to the public
Well,
because
maybe
they fenced it in a lot.
I haven't been there for. I mean,
I don't
honestly,
know if some. They also have, but not to
I
this
can't remember.
extent. They, I think it only belongs to one person, and then they had bought some chalets or something for people to go and all. I'm under. I'm
yeah, I
talking
can't
under-
remember. I just remember.
And then we
like-
must take a trip out there.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't been there since I left PE.
Yeah.
And came back.
I think it will be nice for you.
Yeah, it will be.
But then you must tell me when you have the time because
For
it's
you,
going,
baby, I've got time anytime. No, it's fine.
because it's
anytime.
going to be a little bit of a longer trip.
I'm with you. Okay.
No, because it's a little bit of a drive.
Yeah, it's
Not
just
that far, but it
No,
is.
no, like, is a distance.
It's about 15 minutes, I'd say. Is it
think so?
20 minutes? 15 minutes. I think 15 minutes.
Yeah, probably.
15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, 15, 20.
Okay, so that's already 45 minutes out of your day. Then we haven't done any city.
Oh, we can do it.
Because this is actually a different form of a podcast, you know that?
Mm.
Two old people sitting on a
Talking
bench.
crap.
What are we doing? We're contemplating life.
Contemplating.
Old age. Yeah. What
Well,
it's
I
like.
shouldn't be stupid.
Younger people should take note. Ja, dis Gqeberha stories.
Yeah, love that.
Remember Gqeberha
Oh,
stories?
love it.
Oh, all those people are gone already. There it is. There is
Yeah, there you go, yeah.
his lure. He doesn't have anything.
Uh,
It's hers.
yeah.
That's the thing also, is a lot of the people that used to be part of your life, or that whether it is TV personalities or music icons
Those are all
or
the people you grow up with,
They gone.
like sportsmen.
Yes.
And I know, I'm dealing with it right now.
they're not there
Which
anymore.
I don't want to get into right now, but I'm dealing with exactly that.
Is it with Michelle? Who it is?
Not that one.
Another one. Did something else?
No. The Michelle Burtis thing is a totally another story. I'm talking about
Closer, family.
No, not close at all. I'm dealing with sportsmen. I'm doing a publication on certain sociological and anthropological things that happen the development of a certain sport type in South Africa.
Okay.
From the apartheid years, from white to black
Yes,
and all that. You know,
yes,
the whole
yes.
sociological thing. But there's a lot of figureheads in there that were iconic, you know.
Yeah.
And now I'm getting all this I'm doing all this research, I'm getting all this information from people. Now you've got maybe all that archival stuff that you identify with from that time. Now you see them now. You know, so now I'm getting information today, and how many are not there anymore.
Oh, I know.
And two of the most traumatic ones was, which I'm not going to mention their names or anything now, but two of them were murdered, and I didn't know how they died. Were murdered, you know. So there you go, poof, there goes your little idol, your idyllic dream of that particular individual. Then the other one shot himself in his workshop.
Oh no.
You know, things like that. But you don't. You see, these people that you grow up with, if they're public figures,
Yeah.
you have an image of what they are.
Oh yes.
And
Yes.
now every day, and then you see, oh, this one died.
Yes.
Oh, that one passed
Yes.
away. Oh, this happened, or that
Yes.
happened. And then you reflect, you know, and think,
Yes.
yes, I grew up with, you know, these people.
I'm actually talking, it's exactly the same thing, but a smaller circle. For instance,
Oh, you mean close
your-
at home kind of thing?
the preacher of the church, the congregation, or your high school principal, or,
Yeah.
or your
Oh,
lecturers
yeah.
at
Oh, a lot of that.
university.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
No, this last month.
your parents' friends.
Yeah, well, this last month I've had several, just in a
Yes.
month.
Yes,
In a month.
yes.
Like the most, like just random. Do you remember so and so from that and that and that? And I think, yeah. And then they WhatsApp me a photograph, and I think, oh.
And then they dropped a bomb. And that
And
one
that's
died
it,
yesterday.
Yeah, so I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with public figures. The public figures, you've got this fantasy kind of a thing
Oh,
you
definitely.
grow up with, and then suddenly they're gone.
Oh, that's like the Lady Diana.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
People didn't even know her personally. But they
Yeah.
cried and mourned that woman as if they were closest friends. They
Yeah,
spent
it's-
every waking
But
moment with her.
that's normal because that's not a bad thing actually. When people are like that. I mean, that's part of your escape world, you know.
Yeah. You
It's your
think so?
Yeah, it is. It's your escape world, and it's like the influence music has on you, like the artists and musicians that you grow up with, as they get, and then when they go, that's a hell of a thing because
Yeah.
they're a part of your life, the way you express yourself.
Like Queen, Freddie
Yeah.
Mercury,
Or
when
like
he...
the Lennon thing, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a good. It's just. So that's quite normal. But as you say, like,
Michael Jackson.
all
I
those
stand, I
things.
can't leave that poor guy alone.
you know, it's terrible, eh?
Mm.
But definitely it makes you. Again, we're getting back to this reflection thing. I mean, it's-
But we are reflecting.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Your mind
but it's
always
not.
go
But
back
it's. But
to
it doesn't.
reflecting.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Doesn't
matter.
matter.
No, it doesn't matter. I just.
It
Like
brings-
yesterday, I just
it
got.
brings clarity and peace and calmness.
I just, like I was looking at these photographs of these particular people, right? And yesterday, last night,
Here they go. You're so interesting conversation.
and they sent me this photograph. And they said, like the one photograph was of an individual. They were at this old boys gathering, you know, all the ex-professionals and that were all there. And then they have these dinners every year and all this blah blah blah. So the guy that's sending me this information, he sends me photographs where he's posing with certain individuals, you know. And they've got their tags with their names on it and all that. Because you don't recognize them anymore. So they got their names on you. And then there was this one particular individual that I really admired, you know, as a sportsman that I admired. And he's posing with this guy. And I could barely recognize him. All I recognized was the same look, you know, the eyes, the look was the same. But otherwise you could not tell it was the same person that I knew. And
Now
I just
you know
looked at
why,
this,
now
and then he
you
said
know
to
why
me,
women feels the way they do when they...
yeah, but when I looked at this guy, but this is like going back, you see. So when I looked at this guy, he said to me, I actually sat next to this guy that you liked, right at his table. I sat, we had dinner, and then he let me take a photograph and sign autographs and that. And he says within a week after that he was dead, passed away.
And he was fine
Illness.
at that event.
Yeah.
Completely
Yeah,
fine.
no, well, he wasn't completely fine. He said he didn't look good.
Oh,
You know, in the photograph to me, he looked okay. He was just overweight and, you know, he's old.
yeah.
But he looked okay, you know what I mean? And he said within a week, he just said of illness. Because we were going through all these murders and suicide thingies. It was very upsetting for me, the way they died. And then there was a question mark about this particular guy. I said, I've heard conflicting reports about him also getting killed or something. He said, no. He didn't get killed, he died of illness. But I sat there and I thought, these people were my heroes, you know, iconic figures and stuff. And now we're talking like that about them. You know, it's sad, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just felt like really,
Your
my little world as a child looking at these guys.
It sort of becomes
Yeah, that's what's happening.
closer and narrower.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
Until it's really only the few
Yeah.
long lasters that still
Yeah, and I could
standing.
never understand my dad. I'd hear him in the mornings tapping his pipe, cleaning his pipe and all that, and he's talking to my mom. And then he'll say, oh, did you hear Mr. So-and-so passed away yesterday? My God, can you remember this name? And that's nothing. So-and-so and this one died. And I said, well, they're always talking about these people dying. Every day I hear the same old stories. Like, did you see the newspaper here in the obituary? This one is dead. You remember that one and that one? Oh, yeah. And God, I can't listen to this anymore. And now I kind of understand, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know if you also experience
It
that.
becomes your conversation as
Yeah,
well.
it becomes your conversation as well.
And also you start to talk a lot about when you're sickly, people when you're old, you start to talk about your health.
All the time.
Your aches and pains.
The aches and pains here.
Yeah.
God, that is my worst subject. I do not like to talk about that. Because that is...
And
That's what,
especially if you have been a very active sports
Yeah,
person,
don't
you
talk about
end
it.
up with a lot of aches and
Yeah.
pains because you've worn your joints out. So let us hear about some of yours.
no. Do not want to know. No. But you know, I was worse when I was...
I know that my joints sound as if I need to
No,
give
when
them some
when
oil.
I was, when I was,
because
you
you
know, but you know what's so funny? Is that when I was full-time, you know, into this sport thing, athletic thing, which I don't want to go into all the details now, obviously. But you're so preoccupied with that because you're exercising, you're doing your whatever you're doing daily, right?
What did you do? Tweekamp?
No.
Cross
I did
country.
ultra marathon and cross country.
Cross country.
So I ran all the ultras, I
Yeah.
ran standard marathons, I ran half marathons, and in the winter I was doing cross country.
Well, I think
Blah, 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 blah,
I
just
don't
on
think
and on
the
and on
human
and on.
body is made
Plus,
to
of course,
do
my other
that,
casual
those
sports.
places.
All my other casual sports just for fun.
Which
on
were
the other
what?
side, football, cricket, flipping.
Okay. Well, if you're that fit, then you can do it. I mean, that is
No,
really
that-
just a little extra.
But it just never stopped, you know. It's just like all the time.
I know.
Now the running thing, you're doing like 120 k's a week.
Yeah.
Okay. No, it's not a problem. But you're always bitching and moaning about aches and pains every day. My diet, I'm not feeling it. You're always sick.
Yeah.
But it's, you know what it is? You become so consumed with this exercise thing.
Yes. You
That-
can't
that
take a
every-
day or a week
So
off.
you're listening to your body all the time, and you actually overreact. You become a hypochondriac, you know. Like because I've got a race on Saturday morning. You know?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
I know that
I've
too
got
well.
this. I better go to my physio. I better go and see the doctor about this. And better just
And
check
that's
this.
exactly that.
You
that
get like
I don't want in my life. Again.
and always.
It's like a worm.
You know, like when you
eating
get
in your brain.
we get to an event like 5-6 o'clock in the morning, right?
Mm.
And all the runners are there. And they're all, how's it? Never say how's it to a runner. Oh, you know, like this. No, most of the time they're lying because if they can have a bad run, they can blame it on that.
Ah,
So
this
no,
guy.
you know, you know, like last week I had to skip this run because I got this tweak in my hip and I got a tweak and it's like this and that. Oh, I didn't eat properly this morning and I was like, you know, and they moan. Athletes never stop bitching and moaning about their aches and pains. They're worse than old people, much worse. So now I've got to the point where I'm over that.
Yeah.
So now as an old person, don't talk to me about aches and pains. Because I don't do it. I don't do aches and pains. Anyway, die subject was 'n bietjie heavy vandag.
Nee, dit is nie. Dis mense het nodig om dit ook te hoor baie keer. Okay.
Maar ek het my baie geniet. So lekker om hier te sit.
See what we do.
Is al net jammer met die voëls.
Yeah, they didn't make it.
Ja.
And I think the fishing is
Ek
maybe.
weet, nee, kyk hier kom hulle nou man, hier kom jy goed nou. Sien jy, daar sit hy.
It's fine for still a good atmosphere,
Ja nee, dat is lekker.
and we will do lake
Maar
farm.
verlede kes ek daar staan, maar dan heb ik was die taam tyle man vir ja.
I think
het volg hè.
I think it must have been maybe the time of day.
Ja, taam tyle.